It's a beautiful Sunday evening, and we are glad to have you join us on Kwara TV News tonight. I am Ganiat Ilufeya Dedeji. Reading with me on the English desk.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Kwara TV News tonight. I am Zakaria Surakat. Thank you for watching.
And from the languages desk.
Mohammed.
Akusimi ọjọ́ òní ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ló ń dé sójú wòrán láti iléeṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó kalẹ̀ sí àpáta Yakuba nílùú Ìlọrin. Ẹ lè rí wa wò lórí StarTime channels 113, Free TV channels 502 àti bó ṣe ń lọ lọ́wọ́ lórí Facebook àti YouTube at Kwara TV. Fọláṣadé Ọ̀dẹ́làbí lóníròyìn ẹ má bá wa kálọ.
This is Kwara TV News coming to you live from Apata Yakuba in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. You can watch us on StarTime 113, Free TV 502. You can also join us on Facebook Live. Rivers State Governor Similayi Fubara has reasserted his role as the leader of the state, pledging to fulfill the promises he made to the people of the coastal area. Fubara, who was a special guest at the final of the 2026 Port Harcourt Polo Tournament held in the state capital, pledged to uphold peace and security. He said protecting lives and property remains a top priority. He added that he was happy with the tournament for 1 week, and the president of the Port Harcourt Polo Club told him there was no incident. It shows that they are working and Rivers State is safe, saying that it is the basic responsibility of the government.
Moving on to political matters, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has dismissed reports claiming it has asked its members to contribute 10,000 naira each to fund the party activities, describing the allegation as false and misleading. This was contained in a press statement issued on Sunday by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Comrade Ini Ememobong. The PDP faulted the publication by the Observer Times titled PDP calls on members to contribute 10,000 naira each in bid to fund the party activities, saying the headline did not reflect the true position of the party. The party noted that several other reputable media outlets reported the same interview accurately without sensationalism. Clarifying the issue, the PDP explained that comments made during the interview were in response to a question on how the party intends to fund its activities following recent defections by some governors. The party emphasized that it was merely reiterating its long-standing belief in voluntary grassroots-based funding. The PDP therefore urged its members and the general public to disregard the misleading headline and continue to support the party in ways they consider appropriate.
The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has arrested 6 notorious armed robbery suspects linked to a series of violent crimes targeting nightclubs and recreational centers in Abuja. The arrest followed a discreet intelligence-led operation conducted during the weekend. This was contained in a statement by the command spokesperson, SP Josephine Ade. The arrested suspects include Sulaiman Magaji, 25, Abdullah Abubakar, 20, Abubakar Shitu Male, 25, Sani Ibrahim, 17, Rabi Dairu, 19, and Hamad Abdullah, 26. According to the statement, preliminary investigations revealed that the suspects are responsible for several armed robbery incidents within the FCT, including a recent robbery at Crystal Lounge, Wuse 2, where a hotel guest was dispossessed of gold jewelry valued at approximately 15 million naira. Items recovered include 1 black toy gun, local charms, long and short knives, and 42 bags of dried leaves suspected to be cannabis sativa. The PPRO added that the suspect and the exhibits are currently in police custody and will be charged to court upon completion of investigations. CP Dantawaye commended the officers for their professionalism and gallantry and thanked members of the public for providing timely information that led to the arrest. He also urged residents to remain vigilant and security conscious and to report suspicious persons or activities to the law enforcement.
And moving on to religious matter this beautiful Sunday, Christians have been charged to have total trust in God as one who has the power to restore their hope, heal their wounds and disappointments. This was the call message delivered by Reverend Samuel Abidemi Jola Yemi of the Evangelical Church Winning All, Ekwa Chapel, Ilorin, GRA, during the church service. Abdulateef Owulewa was there for Kwara TV News, and his report is presented from our studios.
In his ministration, Reverend Samuel Abidemi Jola Yemi admonished the congregation to ensure diligence and make good use of time in order to achieve their goals. The clergy, who referenced the church theme for the year, "Keep your lamps burning," taken from Luke chapter 12, verse 35, urged the congregation to tap from the experience of their leaders, saying most youths lack the requisite experience to stay afloat. He emphasized that God frowns at discrimination and encouraged the believers of Christ to always do good and have hope on God for restoration. Reading the book of Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 to 31, Reverend Jola Yemi reinforced the importance of stewardship and using one's talents wisely in serving God.
The thrust of today's message has to do with restoration. We trust that God can restore us as a people, as a nation. But that will not just happen. We also have responsibilities. That is why we are emphasizing, trying to remind ourselves the reasons people lose out on the opportunities and blessings of God in their lives.
Some worshippers who spoke to Kwara TV News described the sermon as timely and impactful.
Irrespective of the challenges that we face, we must be up and doing and know that God, who has called us into his marvelous light, is able and abundantly able to help us so that our light will keep burning. We should not discriminate. The light in us is Christ. Christ is the light in us, and we should allow it to keep burning.
Restoration is the story of salvation, how we have been brought back into fellowship with God. And this cut across other areas, such that if you have lost time, if you have lost relationships, if you have lost friends, God has the power to restore everything back.
You should cooperate with God. So as a child of God, because I'm insufficient, so if I try to allow him to lead me and depend on him, I think the year is going to be a fruitful year.
Religion is about the mind, the way you behave with one another. So it is good that we relate with one another every time, everywhere we find ourselves.
The church is challenging everybody that we should look back to how the world was and was so beautiful in unity, in love. We should go back to that experience and move in that experience so that the world will be good.
The church service features, among other things, choir ministration and special prayer.
And moving on to Ondo State, where the state government has declared zero tolerance for land grabbing in the state, urging residents to shun the practice. The anti-land grabbing task force set up by the government also warned that anyone caught engaging in land grabbing would face the full wrath of the law. The chairman of the task force and the Attorney General of the state, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, stated this during the weekend after the maiden meeting of the group in Akure, the state capital. Ajulo said there will be zero tolerance for land grabbing across the 18 local government areas of the state in 2026. He emphasized that the task force is determined to safeguard property owners across the state. He warned that anyone who violates the Ondo State Property Protection and the Documentation Law 2024 would face the full weight of the law, stressing that 2026 has been declared as a decisive and difficult year for land grabbers in the state. The Attorney General said the task force would no longer tolerate illegal and multiple sales of land by owning families, intimidation of lawful owners, or any form of forceful land acquisition. Ajulo commended the State Governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, for allaying fears associated with land-related fraud through the enactment of the Ondo State Property Protection and the Documentation Law 2024, which criminalizes and grabbing of and related offenses. You're still watching Kwara TV News. We're pausing for some messages to return with more news. Do stay with us.
No buy am. But why? No see say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal. Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull Rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull Rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Gbogbo àgbáyé ló nílò ìyá. Pẹ̀lú títasábọ̀ Golden Terra Oil lásán, ìyá wa lè sọ ìfojúro di ẹ̀rín. Kó sọ ó tì ẹ ṣe di bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ jọ̀wọ́ kó yanjú rògbòdìyàn láàrin ẹbí láì bẹ́ẹ̀ lò. Ká pèsè oúnjẹ tó dùn tó ṣara lóore fún ẹbí ló ṣe kókó jùlọ. Torí níbikíbi táwọn ìyá bá wà ní ìfẹ́ máa gbé.
Golden Terra Oil, or pure love.
Thank you for staying with us on Kwara TV News tonight. Moving on, the richness of Nigeria's varying cultural heritage was on display as the Nigerian Army Institute of Science Education at Technology NICET and the Nigerian Army College of Education NACO jointly host their West African Social Activities WASA 2025. The event, which took place within the precinct of NICET NACO Sports Complex, Sobi Cantonment, Ilorin, was attended by traditional chiefs, cultural enthusiasts, and the people from all walks of life. Babatunde Jimba completes the story.
In what may be seen as a rebirth of social and cultural heritage, the Brigadier General Oyenenyi Sports Complex again came alive for the West African Social Activities WASA 2025. Officers and men of the Nigerian Army, their wives, children, relations, and people from the host communities converged to witness the varied display of culture and values across Nigeria.
Popularly known as Oriyo cultural troops.
In his remarks, the acting commandant of the Nigerian Army Institute of Science, Education and Technology, NICET, Colonel Abbas Abubakar, said the event is pivotal to the remembrance of officers and men of the armed forces who paid the supreme price of uniting the nation and strengthening the territorial integrity of Nigeria, among other sacrifices. The acting commandant stressed that WASA holds a special place in the Army calendar and offers a platform to foster unity and brotherhood.
Events remind us of our collective identity as Nigerians, enriched by our varied traditions, yet united by shared values. It is also a reminder that discipline and togetherness are the foundation of excellence.
In his good read message, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, who was represented by a senior special assistant on security matters, Muhyiddin Aliyu, affirmed the role of WASA, which he described as useful for social integration of the officers and men of the army. The governor reassured the army of constant support and cooperation towards aiding the fight against bandits, terrorists, and all forms of criminalities in the state. He acknowledged the import of their efforts so far, saying the giant strides to restore peace is greatly noted.
These activities remind us of the Nigerian Army vital role in safeguarding our freedom and protecting our people. The dedication and sacrifices of our soldiers reflect the true spirit of service.
Some highlights of the event include tug of war between serving corps members and female soldiers, cultural dances, and lighting of campfire. The event also featured presentation of prizes to deserving officers and men who distinguished themselves for this outgone year. Babatunde Jimba, Kwara TV News.
And from Oyo State comes a report that suspected gunmen have reportedly killed a police officer during an attack on a company in Ogomake near Ibadan, Oyo State capital. According to a statement by the Oyo State Police Command, Public Relations Officer, PPRO DSP Olayinka Ayanlade, the yet-to-be-identified gunmen also abducted the Chinese expatriate principal of the company. Ayanlade in the statement stressed that as at the time of sending this report, a bushcombing operation is ongoing and a full investigation has been launched to ensure the safe rescue of the victim and the arrest and prosecution of the perpetrators. He added that your state has witnessed such an insecurity in recent times. One of such incidents was when gunmen invaded National Park and killed security personnel in a daring attack.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, said its operatives have successfully arrested a long-wanted drug kingpin, Lekon Jimo, popularly known as Kamo Kamo, ending a 12-year manhunt following his involvement in the brutal killing of 3 NDLEA officers. NDLEA announced that Kamo Kamo, notorious for his trafficking, evading arrest and mobilizing armed thugs against security agents, was arrested on Friday after he was tracked to his hideout in Owode Town, Ogun State, by tactical teams of the agency. This was made known in a statement by Femi Babafemi, Director, Media and Advocacy, NDLEA Headquarters, Abuja. Babafemi disclosed that during the operations, the suspect was found in possession of 69 kilograms of skunk, a strain of cannabis. He stated that the arrest marks a significant breakthrough in the agency's commitment to ensuring that no fugitive, regardless of how long they evade justice, remains beyond the reach of the law. Lekon Jimo's criminal history is marked by extreme violence and lawlessness. On 15th June 2014, he orchestrated a barbaric mob action against a team of NDLEA officers who had attempted to arrest him at his enclave. The attack resulted in the cold-blooded murder of 3 NDLEA officers, including Rabiu Usman Kazaure and 2 others who were killed by armed thugs mobilized by Jimo.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has sued state governors and the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, over the alleged failure to account for billions of naira spent on security votes since May 29, 2023. Deputy Director of SERAP, Kolawole Oluwadare, disclosed this in a statement on Sunday. Oluwadare stated that the suit was prompted by persistent insecurity across several states and the FCT, including Benue State and other violent incidents nationwide, despite huge public funds allocated yearly as security votes in the suit marked FHC ABJ C595-2026, filed last Friday at the Federal Court in Abuja. SERAP is asking the court to compel the governors and the FCT minister to publicly disclose details of how security votes collected since May 29, 2023 have been spent. The rights group is also seeking an order directing them to provide a detailed report on the allocation utilization implementation status, and the completion of projects funded by Security Vault, as well as any plans to improve insecurity infrastructure in their state and the FCT. He said over 400 billion naira is budgeted annually as security votes across the country, while at least 10 governors reportedly earmarked about 140 billion for the same purpose in the 2026 budget year.
Moving on, the Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has neutralized more than 40 terrorists in coordinated close air support and air interdictions operations at Azir and Nusaram area of Borno, disputing planned attacks and bolstering ongoing ground operations. This was contained in a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, NAF, Ehimem Ejidame, on Sunday in Abuja. Ejidame, an Air Commodore, said the operations were conducted on 15th and 16th January by the air component of Operations Hadenkai, following actionable intelligence and in close coordination with troops in contacts. He added that the NAV Air Force in the early hours of 16th January swiftly responded to a distress report at Azel, where troops were engaged in terrorist withdrawing from the area. The Chief of the Air Staff, Sunday Aneke, reaffirmed the NAF commitment to providing timely and decisive air support to ground forces. Aneke and Air Marshal said the operations demonstrated the effectiveness of intelligence-led air power and close air-ground coordination in denying terrorist freedom of action. He assured Nigerians of sustained pressure on terrorist elements as the armed forces of Nigeria continue efforts to degrade their capacities and destabilize affected areas. It is time to go on a short timeout, and when we return, Kwara TV News continues. Please stay with us.
Ẹ̀yin tèmi, oúnjẹ ti délẹ̀ o.
Sí àsìtò gbà yìí. Once upon a time, there was a land plagued by blandness. Food had lost its flavor and there was nothing left to savor. Just then, the tastemaker arrives to restore taste to this land of blandness. All she did was sprinkle, stir, and serve. And from that day on, they knew one truth. All they needed is sprinkle, stir, serve. Tastemaker.
Thank you for staying with us on Kwara TV News. Moving on to business decks. Prices of some food items have dropped further across markets in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Abuja, as residents welcomed the development. A market survey conducted by newsmen across major markets in the FCT showed that while the prices of several staples declined after the festive season, some food items remain expensive. Some residents at FCT said the drop in prices had brought some relief, but urged the federal government to ensure sustainability as many households were still constrained by low purchasing power. Latest food inflation statistics released by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) show that Nigeria's food inflation rate dropped in December 2025. NBS said the food inflation stood at 0.36% on a month-on-month basis, a decrease of 1.49% points from the 1.13% recorded in November 2025. The Bureau attributed the decline to a reduction in the average prices of items such as tomatoes, garri, eggs, potatoes, carrots, millet, vegetables, plantain, beans, wheat grain, ground pepper, and fresh onions, among others.
A former lawmaker representing Obokun State constituency in the Osun State House of Assembly, Olatunbo Oyintiloye, has decried widespread misinformation surrounding the new tax laws, calling for urgent action to reverse the trend. Oyintiloye, in a statement made available to newsmen in Oshogbo, the Osun State capital, said the All Progressive Congress chieftain observed that misinformation and diverted public attention from what he described as the good intention of the federal government in introducing the laws. He urged the National Orientation Agency and other relevant government bodies to intensify sensitization efforts on the benefits and objectives of the tax reforms. Oyintiloye attributed the confusion surrounding the new tax laws to what he described as the slow pace of sensitization and limited public engagement before the implementation date. The APC chieftain also said various economic reforms introduced by President Bola Tinubu had started yielding positive results, stressing that the gains of these reforms should be properly packaged and communicated to Nigerians by the relevant agencies.
Now to sports decks. The outcome of the third place match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Pharaohs of Egypt has generated positive reactions from Nigerians. The match, which ended in favor of the Super Eagles, made the soccer fans in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, smile over the 4-2 victory. Abdulateef Ahmed had an interface with the cross-section, and his report is presented from our studios.
The AFCON 2025 holding in Morocco at the weekend saw Nigeria extend her record in the top place playoff, defeating Egypt 4-2 in a penalty shootout after a goalless 90 minutes. The Super Eagles were without 5 key players in their starting lineup. Kafim Bassi was suspended. Wilfred Ndidi and Victor Osimhen did not feature, while Ademola Lookman and Alex Iwobi came off the bench. The team were denied 2 goals by the video assistant referee in the 39th minute and the first minute of the second half. The match ended goalless after 90 minutes, thus leading to the penalty shootout. Stanley Nwabali proved to be the hero of the day, saving 2 penalties to make Super Eagles emerge victorious from the encounter with Pharaoh of Egypt. Some football fans who spoke with Kwara TV News in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, commended the great performance of the Super Eagles. The respondents also appreciated Eric Chell, the Super Eagles coach, and plead to the NFF to allow him continue coaching the team. With the last top place match, Nigeria now has a record of winning all its 8 appearances in the bronze medal match of the competition so far.
And moving on to the foreign scene, where Guinea junta leader General Mamadi Doumbouya was sworn in as president on Saturday after an overwhelming win in December's presidential election. Doumbouya took the oath of office at the brand new 55,000-seat stadium on the outskirts of the capital, Conakry. African leaders and representatives of the African Union and ECOWAS Commission attended the ceremony. Doumbouya took power in 2021 military coup and initially promised not to present himself as a candidate, but he oversaw the introduction of a constitution that revoked a ban on military leaders running for office and extended the presidential term from 5 years to 7. Critics say Doumbouya has clamped down on political opponents and dissent, leaving him with no major opposition among the 8 other candidates in the race. Official results gave him 86.7% of the votes. His victory, which had been predicted by analysts, was confirmed by the Supreme Court in the capital, Conakry. Yerobald, the runner-up, who won 6.59% of the votes, had filed a petition accusing the electoral body of manipulating the result in Doumbouya's favor. But authorities said they withdrew the petition a day before the Supreme Court verdict. Although rich in mineral resources, half of Guinea, 15 million population is mired in poverty and experiences record levels of food insecurity, according to the World Food Programme. And with that report from Guinea, we have come to the end of Kwara TV News from Language Desk. Moving on now to the Languages Desk, where Fatima is waiting. Good evening, Fatima.
Waiting, Ghanaians. Labari yan lozoni. Gwamna yan Ken Rivers similaye Fubara Ghana ke mpe akiunji ke zana inusa yan ke unchi na unchi gaga alikoli na junde jimbe zayan ejunchi pata na nga de shishe ne Fubara na yi iganchi kuni ni miyan gana sandochi na ku bichichi beje ejiyan Port Harcourt ne ngabo unche jin alikolo gan wan lozu mujon to be zagba ya enga lai dun febe ki unchon gande be to etwe ya zawangija na nga ebo na igwa kan right to duki ayan zawangije nga yen na em fari dan engbon bo ne unla engbon futula be gana saunchi na aji ke satini na beje to de mieji yan Port Harcourt ne ga uzuri ndondo da bwana ke umale ganza jidan eka yan shirin wucin ne alo etun ya Ken Rivers ya irufio to de lafiya ne ga na mangoyi wi aki yan gwamnati ndondo na gadon ina siyasa yan People's Democratic Party PDP aga nke ajeda be labarin do choto de na tiya ga eji ege na jiga ndondo ta ewo jika harata na ga lo itu ya ina wucina ke gamana ngata ga wuci wunde gaskiya ndondo ane mai na akiza wangiji bubu ne na labari na da igwata yanza na rutuka ce ga filina ini emebong nun lati aya egi labari jine ala le fiatula lo ibayan labari unchi na da takada ndo choto de tiyane gan aka egi na ndondo unchu ta ewo jikarata na ga lo itun ni miyan ina siyasa unchi onto de one ke ina labari da labari ndo chiji ala labari na bikan ba majin kendo de na alu nan ga alu tiya gangan da bi gaske kemina uyine ajin bayani to da ganin miyan lokacin ya yi galawa mai cinlewo nga uzuri wuce in biye jo bi kendo amajin bayani to da na zumana ga gwamnan da ciji haye nan siyasa wucin ya ba ni da ndoci ne ajin bayani to da loya ga wuyi kendo de daga kayan wawakyo be ina wuce siyasa wuce wafe lo iye ne a ciwa be ege na wuce to zawangije na alayi mai tutu labarin wuce koyan agago gaskiya ma ebo de na gama na de gaskiya koyan na nga wuyo ne doka ji ni miyan ejifo yan Abuja ga won eza gutu an do chana na epa etu gan adegwadan igbe na ajiwon beje ni miyan ejifo uncho ne agan na de mai lokaci to de na wude efe ifi ne gabo alo chi dapte za unchi jo to de won na mai labari na da gwata yan gagaci yan doka ji tiana Josephine Ade agan za unchi na ji egwa bana agayi Suleiman Mugajin Abdullahi Abubakar Shitu Sani Ibrahim Rabiu Dairu to Ame Abdullahi na yege ya eshibe wutu ne labarin wuce gagan na ajin birkici ne gabo aliya daga zaunci je ajin de gwadan igbe na ji biye ije to de to shi ni miyan efuyan wuse ne bana gan atun igbangin do chiji na ewulo million gwegi na gobe zandoci ne energy agan ade gobe ane ngai bidin gajo chigbeje gande be to endochi na ji yan dedejo to de ne achijin bayani ga ajin gawama ya doka nchi ya be tune alune hawa be zawangijo to na achila hankali de to lafiya ga le sansan de ikandoche a ci asadan dokaji na wa ibe lokacin yaya ne
wace da bai gizo ma kristiyani na ade gaskiya ya ito soko toci na ke buge ngata de kagbo na ya pewo umaji endondo de ya wone na yi jawafi na ce beje daga misu yan bama samuel abidemi jolayemi yan evangelical church na ci efu yan ejine lo ne zata yan kyan kwara na igi labari ablatif owó lẹ́wà owó yẹn ganan ce jin wazina gaba man abidemi jolayemi dan jamaji uji shawara gana ajin amfani gande bi lokaci aji hade alerigo daga bayan itu soko ne ce la zude daga littafi jode kakayin da ga akin egbon daga bayan idoshi cijo ga ebo na kama yan egi gbarofu ina jo hade eti soro giyan ikimo na aga le ije to de na ne nga gan soko wenjin da be za na jo to de ge la eche endo chiji na unchi wa be ze jide ga ya etu kristi gaskiya na kandondo a ce jin eliwangi amade yetu wangi daga bayan etu soko tocho ne unchi lawa zu daga littafiyan Matthew to de na ngabo ga amfanin cikode ngabo zangide a pe gan eto ajide wina adawo ya etu soko ijeba tojo ne ni minza na jebasa be gi labari jine jiwa jinti yake na satu mo be dan lokaci ne zumancho ngabo eni to atua yi jinda ya etu soko chebe ijo ne dandan yan kin Nigeria de unche be ijo to de be wuje ni miyan makanta yan soja ne gan niset to na di yan Army College of Education na je afingwa a ciula shaniyan eyayan 2025 beje ba na agun ekan ce la dandan je wo yan kakayin de ne no ce beje ni miyan cantonment na ci sobio na ba na etugi ciji to zane ji de fanfan yan dandan je kuso agun ne yan kina abu ne agun bi ci fi na iglabari Babatunde Gimba na dan ba hunchona nga wuya gan ye mo dandan je nga yen na che beje ni miyan fili hunchon to de ne be kyando to de a che wu dandan na jide ala emigun lo igboro de ne che beje ni miyan fili hunchon to de ne ba na sojaja to imi ajin gande be ya laji to zanajo to de ke tan bando chijo ne aga gun ekan na filu unchon che la dandan jiwu ni miyan kusu agun ni ki Nigeria bo na unche bazane zane commandant yen go bangwa yan Nigeria Army yan makanta yan niset na Colonel Abbas Abubakar gagan shirin uncha we eno to de yen chukwu ebo na rapa sojaji na ji la raya ji chicho to de a cha la emi ni be a kin Nigeria to de ne a chingaga ake la raya jo to de chichi be kando de zangi kin Nigeria ji ade engbofa to edufie lafiya te ne ga shirin uchi wi na be jo to de ne ebo eyan yo to de hala emi gun be to niji na to zangi ma ake la na kanjin dojine Colin Abubakar na da ni miyan eganci ko ne na alacin waya ne miyan filin na nga ehun na nga yi ge ko nci ko ne ya etundo ni miyan yan soja jibo ni miyan labari mana gubo gwamna kin Kwara Abdurrahman Abdrazak na eza shara ya ci nusu etiyan alamariyan itoto Muhyiddin Aliyu jin ekosun ya ne ga na de yi akitun chiko yan shirin uchi so na njuye ngata ga ala kanbe ya dandan ji kaka ni mi kuso agun ni yan Nigeria na ala ni jibe ya cha ala chiwon de ya doji ne unjin alkaola ga a ce jin zumatu de ya enaga ke la etuyen soja lobe na ache cheko ya etu bi asapaji to yeza dede yen kin abu no so de na rebo na pe kokari de na ejin ya idufe lafiya to igwa kan zawangi jo so de na ena beje ni miya film chona ngai ganasa na beje ta chinye igneje jin beltatine to soja inzagijo enye ndenya kakanji na hachigaga ke jin ere atwa ya zanajo to de alutunji kemino gohina eya na lo zoti lo dane labari be lozo ni won go abunaga ama labari gan be ejimi so yage nga un to gba ni Fọláṣadé Ọdẹ́lábí.
Kúṣẹ́ Fatima tí ẹ̀ bá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń tan móhùnmáwòrán yín ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ló ń lọ lọ́wọ́ nílé iṣẹ́ móhùnmáwòrán ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó kalẹ̀ sí àpáta Yakuba nílùú Ìlọrin ìròyìn ọ̀hún rè lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers Siminalayi Fubara ti fọwọ́ méjèèjì rẹ̀ sọ̀yà wípé òun ṣì ni aládarí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers o tí ó sì jẹ́jẹ́ láti mójútó gbogbo ìlérí tí òun ṣe fún àwọn ènìyàn ìpínlẹ̀ náà. Fubara ló ṣẹ̀yàn ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ níbi àṣekágbá ayẹyẹ ìdíje eré ìdárayá kan tó wáyé nílùú Port Harcourt níbi tí ó sì sọ ìfarajì rẹ̀ láti papọ̀ ìfẹ́ ohun ààbò ní ìpínlẹ̀ Rivers. Ó ní ààbò ẹ̀mí àti dúkìá àwọn ènìyàn ló mú láyà òun ju ohunkóhun lọ lákòókò yìí. Ó fi kún ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ wípé inú òun dùn bí ìdíje polo náà ṣe wáyé fún odidi ọ̀sẹ̀ kan gbáko tí kò sì sí hílàhílo ètò ààbò kankan rárá gẹ́gẹ́ bí alága ikọ̀ náà ṣe ṣàlàyé fún òun. Fubara ni ó jẹ́ ohun tó dùn mọ́ òun nínú púpọ̀ wípé èyí tí ó sì jẹ́ ẹ̀rí máa jẹ́ mi ìṣó pé iṣẹ́ tí ìjọba òun ṣe lágbọn ètò ààbò pé ó ti ń yọ. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú People's Democratic Party PDP ti jiyàn àhesọ ọ̀rọ̀ kan pé òun ní kí àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ dá ẹgbẹ̀rún 10 náírà gẹ́gẹ́ bí owó àtìlẹ́yìn fún àwọn ìnáwó ẹgbẹ́ tí ó sì ní irọ́ tó jìnnà sí òótọ́ ni. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan látọwọ́ akọ̀wé ẹgbẹ́ lónìí ìyẹn Comrade Ine Emebong ni ó ti ṣàlàyé wípé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Ọlọ́bùradà kò pọn ní dandan fún ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ kankan láti máa san ẹgbẹ̀rún 10 náírà. Nígbà tí ó ń tan ìmọ́lẹ̀ sí ọ̀rọ̀ náà, ó ti ṣàlàyé wípé àìlágbọ́yé àbí ká ní àṣìgbọ́ ló ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún. Ó ní ohun tí àwọn sọ nínú ìfọ̀rọ̀wánilẹ́nuwò náà lákòókò tí atọ́kùn béèrè wípé nígbà tí gbogbo àwọn gómìnà lẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ti wá kúrò tán báyìí tí wọ́n sì ti gba ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú tó ń ṣe ìjọba lọ́wọ́ lọ, báwo lẹ́ṣẹ̀ wá ṣe ìnáwó nínú ẹgbẹ́ lákòókò ìdìbò báyìí. Ó sì ṣàlàyé wípé àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tó bá farajì yóò dáwó lẹ́sẹ̀ kúkú fún àwọn ohun tí ẹgbẹ́ bá nílò. Làwọn oníròyìn òfegè bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbé ìròyìn pé ẹgbẹ́ PDP ní kí àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ máa dá ẹgbẹ̀rún 10 náírà. Nílùú Àbújá, iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ẹ̀ka ti olú ìlú ilẹ̀ wa Àbújá ti fi gbòòrò òfin gbé àwọn adigunjalè 6 kan tí wọ́n ní ọwọ́ nínú àwọn ìwà ọ̀daràn ọlọ́kan-ò-jọ̀kan tó ti ń wáyé lágbègbè náà. Pàápàá jùlọ àwọn ilé ijó tí a mọ̀ sí club nílùú Àbújá. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tí alukoro iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá agbègbè náà Josephine Ade sọ ni ó ti ní àwọn fi ṣìkún òfin gbé àwọn afurasí ọ̀hún nínú iṣẹ́ ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ tí iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ṣe lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí. Àwọn ọ̀daràn náà ni wọ́n pe orúkọ wọn ní Sulaiman Magaji ẹni ọdún 25, Abdullahi Abubakar ọmọ 20 ọdún, Abubakar Shitu ọdún 25, Sani Ibrahim ọdún 27, Rabiu Dahiru ọdún 19 àti Ahmed Abdullahi ẹni ọdún 26 tí wọ́n sì rí ìbọn ìléwọ́ tó jẹ́ òfegè àti àwọn oògùn ìbílẹ̀ gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn. Àtẹ̀jáde náà ṣàlàyé wípé àwọn ẹni ọ̀rọ̀ kan ni àwọn fura sí wípé wọ́n lọ́wọ́ nínú ìdógunjalè tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣọṣẹ́ ní ilé ìtura kan lágbègbè Wuse láìpẹ́ yìí níbi tí wọ́n ti ja àlejò kan lólè góòlù tí iye rẹ̀ tó mílíọ̀nù 15 náírà. Àlàyé náà tẹ̀síwájú wípé àwọn ẹni ọ̀rọ̀ kan wà lọ́gbà ọlọ́pàá ìlú Àbújá báyìí àmọ́ tí wọn yóò fi ojú ba ilé ẹjọ́ lẹ́yìn ìwádìí finifini. Kọmíṣánná àjọ ọlọ́pàá nílùú Àbújá Dantawaye sọ̀rọ̀ ìlọ́gbọ̀ ẹnu fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ rẹ̀ fún iṣẹ́ takuntakun tí wọ́n ṣe, tí ó sì rọ àwọn ará ìlú láti fi ọkàn balẹ̀. Àmọ́ ti lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi láti fi gbogbo ìgbẹ́kẹ̀lé wọn sínú Ọlọ́run nítorí pé òun nìkan ni ó ní agbára láti wo ọgbẹ́ wọn sàn àti gbogbo ìjákulẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti ní. Èyí ló jẹ́ kókó ìwàásù ẹni ọ̀wọ̀ Samuel Abídèmí Jọláyẹmí ti ìjọ ECWA tó wà lágbègbè GRA nílùú Ìlọrin nínú ìjọsìn tòní. Abdulateef Owólẹ́wà bá wọn péjọ tí ó sì jábọ̀ wípé nínú ìwàásù rẹ̀ ní ẹni ọ̀wọ̀ Samuel ti gba àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì níyànjú láti má fi àkókò ṣòfò nínú àfojúsùn wọn kí wọ́n lè di mímúṣẹ lọ́dún yìí. Ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run náà tó mú ìwàásù rẹ̀ láti inú àkọmọ̀nà ti ọdún yìí tí ó sọ wípé jẹ́ kí fìtílà rẹ kí ó máa tàn tó wà nínú ìwé Lúùkù orí 12 ẹsẹ̀ 45 ní ó rọ àwọn olùjọ́sìn pàápàá jùlọ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ láti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nínú àṣìṣe àwọn aṣíwájú wọn. Ó ṣàtẹnumọ́ rẹ̀ wípé Ọlọ́run kò nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí àwọn tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà tí ó sì gbà wọ́n níyànjú láti máa hu ìwà rere nígbà gbogbo. Nígbà tí ó ń kà láti inú ìwé Mátíù orí 29 ẹsẹ̀ 14 sí 21, ẹni ọ̀wọ̀ Jọláyẹmí tẹnumọ́ ìṣe pàtàkì kí ènìyàn jẹ́ ìríjú rere kí ó sì lo ẹ̀bùn rẹ̀ láti sin Ọlọ́run. Lára àwọn olùjọ́sìn tí wọ́n bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn ilé-iṣẹ́ yìí sọ̀rọ̀ ṣàpèjúwe ìwàásù náà bí ìtanijí tí ó sì bá ìgbà mu. Àwọn ohun mìíràn tó wáyé nínú ìjọsìn náà ni àdúrà pàtàkì pẹ̀lú orin láti ẹnu ẹgbẹ́ akọrin ìjọ. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ti fi léde wípé òun kò ní fààyè gba ìwà à ń gba ilẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹnikẹ́ni ní ìpínlẹ̀ náà mọ́, tí ó sì kìlọ̀ fún àwọn ènìyàn ìlú bẹ́ẹ̀ láti má ṣe da aṣọ irú rẹ̀ ṣòro. Àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ kan tí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo gbé kalẹ̀ láti máa fi ìyà jẹ ẹnikẹ́ni tí ó bá já ìjà ilẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní ẹnikẹ́ni tí ajé ìwà ìbàjẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣí mọ́ lórí yóò fi ìmọ̀ kàtà òfin. Alága ìgbìmọ̀ ọ̀hún tó tún jẹ́ adájọ́ àgbà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ọ̀mọ̀wé Káyọ̀dé Àjùlọ ló ṣẹ̀yìn ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìpàdé ìgbìmọ̀ tó wáyé nílùú Àkúrẹ́ níbi tí ó ti ṣàlàyé wípé kò sí ààyè fún ẹnikẹ́ni mọ́ láti máa gba ilẹ̀ ní gbogbo ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ 18 tó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ní ọdún 2026 yìí. Ó ṣàtẹnumọ́ rẹ̀ wípé ẹnikẹ́ni tí ó bá tàpá sí òfin tó rọ̀ mọ́ ilẹ̀ àti ilé ìgbé ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo òfin ti ọdún 2024 lọ́dún yìí ni yóò fojú winá òfin, pẹ̀lú àfikún wípé kò sí ààyè mọ́ láti máa ta ilẹ̀ lọ́nà àìtọ́ àbí à ń ta ilẹ̀ kan fún ènìyàn 2, 3 láti ọwọ́ àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí, àmọ́ tí yóò dáàbò bo dúkìá ará ìlú tó bá ní ìwé tó pójú owó lọ́wọ́ lórí ohun ìní wọn. Àjùlọ mọ rírì ìṣèjọba gómìnà Lucky Ayédàtiwa fún ìṣàgbékalẹ̀ irú ìgbìmọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Àṣà àti ìṣe ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tó fi mọ́ àwọn ohun àdáyébá ni wọ́n ṣe àfihàn rẹ̀ níbi ètò tí àjọ ológun orílẹ̀-èdè yìí àti ẹ̀ka tó ń kọ́ni nípa ìmọ̀ sáyẹ́ǹsì nínú ẹ̀ka àjọ náà ṣe parapọ̀ ṣe ayẹyẹ ọlọ́dọọdún àjọ ológun náà tó máa ń wáyé lápá ìwọ̀ oòrùn ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ tí a mọ̀ sí wásà, níbi tí wọ́n ti máa ń ṣe àfihàn àṣà ilẹ̀ yìí. Ètò náà ti ọdún 2025 ló wáyé nínú ọgbà àjọ ológun ti ìlú Ìlọrin tó wà ní agbègbè Sóbí. Ètò náà sì ní ìpéjú sí àwọn orí adé, ọrùn ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ gbogbo àti gbogbo àwọn mìíràn tí wọ́n máa ń ṣe ìgbélárugẹ àṣà. Babátúndé Jímbà bá wọn péjọ síbẹ̀ tó sì jábọ̀ wípé àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lájọ ológun àti àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí wọn láì yọ àwọn olùgbé agbègbè Sóbí sílẹ̀ ni wọ́n péjú pésẹ̀ síbi ètò ọ̀hún láti ṣe àfihàn àṣà àti ìṣe ìlú kówá wọn. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tirẹ̀, ẹni tí ó jẹ́ adelé ọ̀gá àgbà ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ìmọ̀ sáyẹ́ǹsì lájọ ológun Colonel Abbas Abubakar ṣàlàyé wípé ètò náà wà fún láti mọ rírì ipa ribiribi tí àwọn ọmọ ogun ń kó ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí àti bí wọ́n ṣe ń fi ẹ̀mí jin ikú láti dáàbò bo ilẹ̀ baba wọn. Adelé ọ̀gá àgbà náà ní ètò wásà òun ló jẹ́ ètò kan pàtàkì níléeṣẹ́ ológun tí tí àwọn kò lè ṣàìmásàmì rẹ̀ lọ́dọọdún. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tirẹ̀, gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, ẹni tí olùbádámọ̀ràn pàtàkì lórí ètò ààbò Muhyiddin Aliyu ṣojú fún sọ ìwúlò wásà tí ó sì ṣàpèjúwe rẹ̀ bí ètò tó ń pakún ìfẹ́ láàrin àwọn ẹ̀yà tó wà lájọ ológun orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Gómìnà fọwọ́ ìfarajìn rẹ̀ sọ̀yà láti ṣe ìrànlọ́wọ́ tó bá yẹ fún iléeṣẹ́ ológun àti àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò yòókù ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara láti lè gbógun ti ìwà ọ̀daràn ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Gómìnà sọ̀rọ̀ ìlú lọ́gọ̀ ẹnu fún àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò bí wọ́n ṣe ń fẹ̀mí jin ikú láti kojú àwọn afẹ̀míṣòfò tí wọ́n ṣe ìkọlù sí ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara láìpẹ́ yìí. Ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́, àwọn agbébọn kan ní ìròyìn fi yé wa wípé wọ́n ṣekú pa ọlọ́pàá kan lákòókò tí wọ́n ṣe ìkọlù sí ilé-iṣẹ́ kan lágbègbè Ògúnmákin lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Ìbàdàn tí ń ṣe olú ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìròyìn tí a gbọ́ láti ẹnu alukoro iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ DSP Ọláyínká Àyànládé sọ di mímọ̀ wípé àwọn kò tí ì ṣe ìdámọ̀ àwọn afurasí agbébọn tí wọ́n ṣe iṣẹ́ láabi náà tí wọ́n sì tún jí òyìnbó aláwọ̀ funfun tó jẹ́ ọ̀gá nílé iṣẹ́ náà gbé sá lọ. Àyànládé ní àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò ti wà láwọn inú igbó ní gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ báyìí láti ṣe ìgbàpadà àwọn tí wọ́n jí gbé ọ̀hún kí wọ́n sì lè fi ṣìnkún òfin mọ́ àwọn afẹ̀míṣòfò náà. Ó fi kún ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ wípé ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ti ní ìrírí ìkọlù àwọn agbébọn ní lemọ́lemọ́ láìpẹ́ yìí bí àwọn agbébọn kan náà ṣe ìkọlù sí National Park tí wọ́n sì gbẹ̀mí àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò tó wà níbẹ̀. Pẹ̀lú ìròyìn la fi máa fún ọ̀dà ìfún ti àṣálẹ̀ òní. Ẹ ṣeun tẹ́ ẹ ti ń tẹ́tí sí wa. Ganiyat Adédèjì Àbọ̀mírè ẹ jẹ́ máa rí lọ.
Thank you so much for being part of the news. But before we go, a quick one from the languages desk.
Labari ibe lozo ni wọn go abunika sai suna shike labari labe ni sala su kwaga ndu ne yo Fatima Mohammed ngala labari chi be.
Ǹjẹ́ títí di ọ̀la tẹ́tù máa pọ̀dọ̀ fún ìròyìn àti ètò lọ́lọ́kanjọ̀kan láti lè ṣe móhùnmáwòrán ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara. Fọláṣadé Ọ̀dẹ́lábí ló sọ pé ó dàárọ̀ orin là ó sùn ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan là ó jí.
Thank you for staying with us on Kwara TV News tonight, reaching you live from Kwara State Television Authority, Apate Akuba, along the Kwara State capital. Remember, you can always join Kwara TV on Star Time, channel 113. Free TV channel 502. You can always be with us from wherever you're watching us from on Facebook at Kwara TV. Join us tomorrow 8 a.m. for our flagship current affairs show, AN Drive, and 12 p.m., 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. for more updated bulletins. I am Zachariah Surakat. Good evening.
Join us tomorrow for more of our bulletin. Good evening. I am Ganiyat Ilufoye Adedeji. Have a productive week ahead.